Well, hello, or good afternoon, or whatever the salutation of the day is. Welcome back. Today I'm talking about something that I have no experience with yet. This is my first impression of this weapon. I have a friend named Bruce Brucci. I've spoken about him before. And Bruce called me one day and said, "Have you tried the Canik Meta?" Which he was referring to the brand of weapons that's imported by Salient Arms, which I've never tried any Canik. I believe it's actually pronounced Janik in Turkey, but for our purposes, we'll call it Canik as well. He told me it was a really, really good gun, and I was curious about this. And I'd grown disenchanted with one of my guns, and I decided to go looking for a Canik. So I go to one of my places that I normally go to, and they have 2 or 3 Caniks sitting there. And I asked them about this one particular one just because I like guns that have FDE paint on them. I don't know why. And I asked him if he would trade even for the gun that I had, and he said yes. Now, I know this guy. I've known this guy for quite some time. I've known going all the way back to junior high school. And but what I ended up coming out of there with was a Canik TP9 Elite Combat. Since I didn't know what I was doing at the time, I did not realize what I had stumbled upon. This is the... I've had Salient Arms as a sponsor before. Salient Arms has taken this gun and massaged it well. I know a lot of people that rave about Canik. Since I have never shot one, and at this point I still have not shot one. I'm not one of those that rave about them, but I was curious about the gun. Now the gun, just first glance, I mean, it has some interesting attributes. It has some interesting touches that you don't, like this, the slide lock reminds me of Walther or H&K. It has a really enhanced mag release, and it comes with 15-round mags, although the one I have, or the ones I have 2 15-rounders and one 15-rounder that has a +2. The parts that are massaged, if you will, by Salient Arms are the barrel, which this one has. This one has a threaded barrel, and this cap, the thread protector cap, is on there. Because most of the time with a thread protector cap, most of the time with a threaded barrel, period, since I don't own a can, I look at getting rid of the threaded barrel because I don't own a can. And I always, whenever I'm shooting them, I have to take the cap off. This seems rather steady on there. But it has a Salient Arms shaped barrel. It has a Salient Arms, I believe this is a Salient Arms trigger. It has a Salient Arms mag well, which is all of these little touches from Salient are very nice because some of these make a difference. The barrel will make a difference. The trigger pull. The trigger pull is interesting because you have the take up. Then you have the pressing down to reach the wall. And then you have the wall. And the trigger reset is that short. And then you're back in business. This one is optics ready. And one of the things I found about this was that when you, in the box, coming in the box, the actual setup with the gun itself is really well thought out because you have all of your plates, you have your mag loader, you have a back strap or two. It comes with a holster, which is downstairs, with a paddle that you can stick on there. It comes with various cleaning supplies and everything else. But it's really well thought out. I mean, for the price point that this thing occupies, you would not expect to see it quite this well dressed out coming to you. You also get a nice, this fell out of the box, a nice Canik wrench. My first thought handling it, the polymer material, right? Like I was just talking about this gun the other day. It is reminiscent of CZ. And the polymer material feels rather stout. The gun itself seems sort of tight sprung, but I don't know how many times this thing's been shot. Apparently, when I got this gun, I really lucked out because this is like, and for those of you in the Canik world, if you will, if you'll let me know, this is supposedly one of the higher end Caniks. And I looked at the price for it, and with the Salient Arms attributes, which the sights are also Salient Arms, you would expect to pay a little more for this. Canik is a really inexpensive gun. This gun, MSRP on it is $849, but it's optics ready. It's got the barrel. It's got an updated barrel. It's got an upgraded trigger. The trigger is crazy good though. Few things. So you have a fire pin indicator right here. Of course, it goes away when trigger is pulled. I don't know. I'm sort of impressed, to be honest with you. It has all of the dressing and attributes. I mean, look at the barrel. It says 9mm on it, which that doesn't mean that much, but it is helpful. This has got to go out to the range. But, like I said, this is just my first impression of it. I'm impressed with the gun. It's a little heavy. It's a little bit heavy. I mean, we're talking about a Glock 19 sized pistol here, basically, which I know James Yeager uses these at Tactical Response's loaner guns. He's got some that have 50,000 rounds through them. The only thing worn out on the gun so far are the magazines, and you would expect a magazine after it gets loaded a few hundred times, it might wear out. Using a gun in a class as a loaner gun is not normal wear and tear on a gun. I saw one video where one guy decided he wanted to torture test the gun, and I don't quite get it, but he decided to stand on the back of his four-wheeler and drop a 45-pound plate on it, hit it right here, and from a height of about 9 feet. And it broke the gun. And I don't know if he had dropped it on this gun and it didn't break the gun, I'd be selling every gun I've got and buying nothing but Caniks. But it broke the gun. Because some of the torture testing out there is sort of interesting, maybe I'm just old-fashioned. When I was in the military, if we dropped our weapon and it hit the deck, we were cleaning that gentleman that night. We treated our weapons with a lot of respect because this was going to be part of what kept us alive if the balloon went up. That's an old phrase, children, the balloon going up. So, have to get this out on the round. Stay tuned for that. Canik TP9 Elite Combat. I'm interested.